So
it's like, have we done any studies of whether or not this sacrifice thing really helps?
Right, exactly. You'd think there would have been somebody with like a flipboard who's like, actually, if you look, we don't get a lot more rain when we kill people. Hey, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We're here talking about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Season 1, Episode 6. Lift us where suffering cannot reach. We open with the Enterprise receiving a distress call from a shuttlecraft being attacked by another ship. The Enterprise downs the attacking ship, bring the shuttlecraft crew aboard. One of the passengers, Alora, knows Pike from years earlier, and they obviously have a chemistry. We end with Pike unsuccessfully trying to save the sacrifice of a child known as the First Servant. This effectively ends his relationship with Alora. Dr. Mbenga learns some new science that may eventually heal his daughter. And the Enterprise leaves Magellan. Pike's going to report them to the Federation. Paul!
Yes?
What did you think about Episode 6?
I liked it. It did strike me, though, one of the, things about science fiction. Sometimes it's like, here's this premise that, it'd be hard to imagine how you would actually make it exist in reality. It's like, here's our technology and our, advanced technology in medicine and all that, and it comes down to, torturing and killing a child. But, it needs to, so it's one of those, like, oh, is that okay? Instead of all these kids dying in ways that, perhaps could be stopped if you tried a little harder, no kids die but one. Just one. No one.
And I'm maybe calling a little BS on no one else is in peril. Like, I was confused at the science of this particular thing. So, okay.
Oh, of course.
They're on a planet. we get a line that says, oh, actually, the actual surface of the planet is just a bunch of lava. It's just a bunch of rivers of lava. And if the real planet were to, surface, we'd all be dead. So, in order to make the planet habitable... Are people a long time ago, and we don't know, because she even says, we don't even know why they did this, but they did it. So they hook up a kid and they kill the kid. Okay, I'm still okay, they kill a kid, and the sacrifice of a kid means the planet's habitable. That doesn't make it awesome for everybody. I think the rest of their everybody's happy and well adjusted is their actual technology, right? The kid makes it habitable. They live on a planet now, and they have awesome tech. Okay, move. Isn't that if your tech is so awesome, and and the only thing you have to do is kill a kid to make the planet habitable, you've got space travel. Yeah, move. Yeah, take that awesome tech. Be well adjusted on a planet where you don't have to kill a kid. Anyway, I was I'm confused as to what this kid brings. But, to their credit, they didn't just, end it with, he saves the kid, and then they realize they were stupid, and everything's fine. They're like, no, kid died. We had the same week.
Here is where I was where I was like, I think I can fix this. So instead of getting on the Enterprise and being like, I want to make sure that this wound isn't going to kill him, should be like, can I get something called Sanctuary? Can you save me and my son from this crazy people? Instead of, let me have this plan where I hide him in a box.
I'll hide him in a box, and I'll teleport him into the box. That's a great point. He could have just asked. He could have said, hey, they're going to kill my kid. Can we not have him do that? All right. And then you got the Federation going, all right, hey, that's fine. It's actually really easy. We'll just take him way far away. Got it.
Yeah.
You went through a lot of subterfuge, guy, just assuming that we were going to be like, no, got to kill the kid. No, we were really on board with the not killing the kid thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting, in the same week, you had the little youngling in Star Wars, dead in amber, and then we kill a kid. Our shows are killing kids.
Yeah.
They're killing kids, Paul. This got me thinking about, because obviously the idea here is hey, it's a civilization with amazing tech, but they have these kind of ancient superstitions.
Yes.
And so there's this weird dichotomy.
Yes.
And my personal experience with that was visiting Chichen Itza. So I went once and I visited. It's a Mayan temple district, and it's called Chichen Itza, Well of the Water Sorcerers.
Oh wow! Is all the times you mentioned Lord of the Rings? Is that what got you out of it? Like, you can leave
That's right.
now.
I mean, obviously, it's in a jungle environment, so anything not made of stone or bone is pretty much rotted away from this particular site. But
Okay.
so all you have is really stones and bones. But you've got this limited glimpse at the Mayans. But even with this limited glimpse, I was struck with this culture's amazing level of scientific achievement, and then mixed with ancient superstition. They built this domed observatory to track the movements of Venus across the sky. They cleared the jungle, built a pyramid at the exact place and exact angle, so that at the equinox, the path of the sun traces this kind of a rippling snake shadow down the side of the pyramid till it joins with this snake head. They still practice this on the equinox. There's a giant world thing. They meet at this pyramid and witness their snake god emerge. And so I mean, that requires math, engineering.
Sure. Yes.
There's like a high degree of skill.
Yes.
And yet still there's a sacrificial altar. They had two wells, one well for drinking, one well for sacrificing. And it's like, hey, the water, we're not getting enough rain. Got to kill a few guys. Got to sacrifice a chalk mole. So it was like this. I remember. I mean, and I'm not saying that to say like, hey, the Mayans are weird. I'm just like, it was just like a really probably 500 years from now, when people look at our culture, they'll be like, well, they had some really cool tech, but they also had some really weird superstitions. But yeah, it was just really highlighted there in this space where you got, God bless, the architecture, the science, the engineering, and then you put that on top of, we do a lot of sacrifice when things don't go our way. Whoa, okay, all right. Anyway, so
it's like, have we done any studies of whether or not this sacrifice thing really helps?
Right, exactly. You'd think there would have been somebody with like a flip board who's like, actually, if you look, we don't get a lot more rain when we kill people. Just to say that their version of Majalis is I think there are exampents of it in the real world in some way. Sure. They threw out the notion of, hey, Pike, he mentions to Laura, I'm going to have a terrible accident in 10 years. She's like, well, no, our med tech.
Yes.
We can make that go away.
Yeah, and our friends on this other planet have some great electronic tech that helps you communicate better once you've been, more than yes and no.
The yes, no, maybe tech. Oh, an extra button.
A whole 50% more options there. Ooh.
But it is interesting because that is, obviously he forgoes this chance to, say, avoid his fate in this moment. Which has to be he has to at least think about it, right? There has to be some moment where he's like, well, good point. I mean, I could just come back here and not be like yes, no guy for the rest of my life.
Well, you're not suggesting that he was thinking that after he saw that they kill a kid. Okay.
No. But in the meantime,
it's like good thing you were directing it. You have him go, well.
I think he was thanks, but no thanks even at that point. But maybe not.
Yes.
But it does make me think that he's going to have to over this time in this place where there's so much amazing tech in the universe of Trek, that he's going to have to really work at it to keep his fate in line, right? Like there's going to be like another tech will be like, well, we have this personal radiation shield. You can just wear it and you're immune. You pollute your ocean. Sorry, nope, can't deal with your tech. He's finding reasons.
Well, that's the question that I had, with Dr. Mbega. It's like, okay, this guy's going to help him show the theory behind, the advances that he needs for his daughter there. I just imagine him, over his child doing some operation, and then this guy going over his shoulder, we came up with this from torturing children. It's like, quiet, I'm trying to save the life of my, don't make it harder.
No.
La 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 la.
And it is an interesting, I guess, moral conundrum there. Yeah, he's going to take that science and use it to save his daughter. Try to. Yeah, I like the episode. As you say, something that you would almost never come across, but this choice tag you have to make. Right. That's what sci-fi can do for you, right? Put you in these absurd situation and then go, all right, what would you do? Yeah. You're like, okay.
Yeah. It's like that's how we're going to meet all these different department heads. Is have them all teach Uhura something. So,
right. I'm okay with that. Like, she's got to take.
Oh yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, it's fine, but it's sort of like that's how they're doing it.
Right. She took her rotation in engineering. Now she took her rotation in security. Yeah.
Now it's time to hang out with Mbenga or Nurse Chapel.
Right. And also, obviously, we got this thing of, Pike's got a lady friend. So it was kind of a...
Yes, he does.
Definitely evocative of the original series.
Yes, definitely, yes.
So I think you had the main plot of this society seems awesome with a catch. Yeah. Then you had, I think Mbenga was probably a subplot of like, hey, remember I have my daughter and she's ill, because he talks to her. Then they bring her back again when the first servant brings her out and talks to her. I feel like they spent a lot of time, on that subplot.
That's true, they did.
For him to have to then, not get the tech.
And teach us a little more about the situation, and that he has her, and he doesn't tell her when he puts her into stasis. So
right, he's got her in the severance package. Right, with the
yes.
She's like, you read that to me a second ago. Oh, did I? Yeah. That scene where the dad of the first servant or whatever says to Mbenga like, oh yeah, we have the tech that could save theoretically your kid. But
yes.
Yeah,
how you guys don't really share your technology, but there's an exception for people's lives.
Right.
Right, is there? Oh,
I was almost expecting Mbenga to like punch him or something. I don't know. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But anyway, so he does share at least the knowledge with him, if not the actual tech. I think is the way that works, right? That's what I got out of it. Because that scientist is
he probably doesn't have any access to the physical technology, right? But he would be able to tell him the theory behind how they do that. This made me laugh at the whole, how Nurse Chapel was going to operate, and he's like, "No, don't touch him with those terrible instruments." It's like, I was just going to do something. I know what you're going to do with your barbaric ways.
Yeah, the kid that's the first servant's like looking at the scanner like it's a toy. Like, oh, look at how cute this little tech is. Whee!
Yeah.
Like, oh man,
it's just sort of like it really makes it like. You mentioned part of it, like Captain Pike could have been like, well, okay, wait, I've got a lot more questions.
I use your adorable tech to make a hopscotch game. Oh, isn't that nice? You guys are so cute.
Yeah. It's like, are you guys still trying to figure out a way to have all these technological advances and not kill a kid? Are you still trying to do that? What if you asked more people for help? Leave it open to people to come in and be like, okay, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that?
Right. And they did. I thought it was interesting too. They did show at the last minute. So the kid is like a willing volunteer the whole time. Yep, yeah. I'm willing to do it.
Yes.
That word sacrifice, I got it. It's in their code. Sacrifice, understood.
Yeah.
And then they show him, he sees the body of it, and he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And in that
this
moment,
person had the job before you.
Yeah. And so they were careful to show that, like, he's not just like all on board with it in that moment. He's like, wait a minute, let's talk about.
And they made a point, she's like, I'm going to disconnect. Like, well, if you do it, it'll kill him. It's like, okay, why'd you build it that way? It's like, is it like only that the button that lets him get out of it? Or, like, until you won't hit that button? Or it's like, no, you can't shut it off, otherwise it'll kill him early.
You know what?
It's like he's gonna die, but
Right.
you will kill him early, so you can't save him. He's now dead.
Right.
Because he hasn't completed his death yet.
So if what you would do is you would kill him and the thing wouldn't work, so you'd kill everyone else, but you wouldn't actually save the kid in the process. So why do it?
Presumably, though, it's like, I mean, that guy didn't look like he was freshly dead.
No.
I guess maybe it's like, okay, now he's dead. We got little, the clock's ticking. We got to get a new one in here.
Well, and
let's make sure we have our little ceremony.
the scientist's dad said, like, I'm going to go back and join the other planet that's the offshoot in order to try to stop the next one. That's what he was basically saying, was that we're going to try to, prevent the next kid from being killed off.
Yeah, you think what they could do, though, is like, okay, let's go to that planet. Maybe we make them a, offshoot of Starfleet, and then we can work with them.
Right. Man. But it just made me think of a good parallel would be the movie, was it Cabin in the Woods?
Oh, yes.
The horror movie where it's like, hey,
well,
it's in our world, but they have to create
that's a classic story anyway, right? It's like, in order to keep these monsters away, we have to sacrifice a certain number of children every year. This is an old, science fiction trope of basically, everything looks great on the outside, but there's a deep secret that it's a classic trope. So that's why I thought, they should, name the planet Hypothetical.
We are at Hypothetical 7. It was a good entry. I think the quality of the show is pretty damn strong.
Yeah.
It's been a really pleasant surprise, I'll say, for me. Because it's a lot of the same folks that have worked on Discovery and Picard, and those shows to me are like, they're not great. They're not. No, they're not. They have awesome.
They have moments, but they're not. They're not. They could improve on their consistency.
Right, but this show so far has been, the consistency's been there, and I applaud them for it.
I mean, certainly kudos. Part of it is that they're unburdened with the more formal story arcs that most shows now try. So they're only doing the characters' personal study. They have probably a character arcs, but it's not tied to the main thing. It'll be interesting to see if we ever see this planet again. We've yet to revisit, I think, any of the planets we've seen so far in Enterprise. So, obviously we're going to see that. I assume we're going to see that Doctor again, the father of the child. I assume we're going to see him at least one more time.
Okay. So we've got, I think, 4 more episodes of that. We've got 2 more episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So come on back for all of that. Thank you as always, Paul. I appreciate it, good sir.
Oh, sure. No problem.
And we will talk to everybody next time. Bye.
Bye.